Green Country is feeling those below freezing temperatures as the snow sticks around on the roads. Crews have been hard at work across the state. Tonight, we'll give you a live look at road conditions. Plus, we've had crews out across Green Country since the Arctic blast started. Our 2 News anchors spent the day talking to communities impacted by the snowy conditions, from Tulsa to Sand Springs to Delaware. And as more dangerously cold nights are ahead, shelters are opening their doors.
I think it's a blessing from God.
As hundreds head to warming centers, beds are beginning to fill up. We'll tell you how shelters are banding together to make sure everyone has a place to go.
2 News Oklahoma starts right now.
As night closes in, refreezing on highways and surface streets is a big concern for those wanting to get out tonight and back to work tomorrow. Thank you for joining me tonight. I'm Erin Christie. Our 2 News Oklahoma's Kathy Tatum joins us now from the Rain Tech Roofing Weather Chaser with what officials are doing to make drivers safer. Kathy.
Hey, Erin. We're out here on eastbound 44 where the roadway is looking pretty dry. Take a look at this right now. Almost all lanes are clear. There's little bits of pieces of ice here and there, but tonight some of those little places where the roads have still got water on them, they're going to turn to black ice, so be very careful when you're out here. Now, all day and all night, ODOT crews and city workers around Green Country are out scraping and sanding, or at least keeping an eye on streets and highway conditions. Until conditions improve significantly both on the highways and the surface streets, Tulsa Metro will be running 12-hour on, 12-hour off ODOT and city crews. Across the Tulsa area, ODOT has 24 trucks running. Statewide, there's 500. But this drastic deep freeze is complicating the cleanup process.
Our biggest problem right now is the extreme low temperatures that we're seeing, especially that we had overnight and we will have again tonight. So those extra low temperatures, it makes the salt not as effective at melting the ice. So today we're adding a little bit of an additive to that mixture to help lower that melting point, so we can get a little bit of melt going on.
You know, those ODOT and Tulsa crews are going to stay on that 12 on, 12 off, probably through Saturday at the least. Today alone, Tulsa plowed 3,000 miles worth of roadways and put down 1,000 tons of salt. They say the hardest areas they have to keep clear are those turn lanes. So when you come up to those, be very careful. Those are the dangerous spots right now. In the Weather Chaser, I'm Kathy Tatum, 2 News Oklahoma.
Good advice. Thank you, Kathy. And storms like this tend to pivot some construction workers to snow removal work. I met up with a local business owner outside Sand Springs with a big job on his hands. The quiet Gull Bay community in Sand Springs is windy, hilly, and low traffic, making getting in and out when it snows like this more difficult, and a perfect job for Brian Rich of Rich Concrete.
This one was pretty nasty. I mean, with all it coming in ice, that was rough.
Rich is a former educator and wrestling coach. Concrete work was going to be a temporary thing, but he enjoyed the flexibility and stayed with it. So wearing several hats comes easy to him.
I started the business like 16 years ago, and so it was just natural. I had a skid loader, and when it snows, we can't pour concrete.
The ice underneath the snow makes these roads more dangerous than previous storms, and Rich said he could tell.
Even me this morning, I was thinking, why am I driving out here? Because I was really kind of concerned.
While snow removal is a great thing for people like Brian to fall back on, this winter it's been difficult for people like concrete workers because they can't get their concrete job started. Do you like this job?
It's quiet. I've got a cab. I can listen to the radio.
Rich is ready to get his regular job back up and running, but when it's time to pour concrete in August, he says he might not think this current job was so bad after all.
I'm meteorologist Brandon Woolley here in the 2 News Weather Center in for Chief Meteorologist Michael Sager, and a brand new record temperature set this afternoon. So this is just a little bit different, as you can see from the graphic. It's a brand new record low maximum temperature that was set at the Tulsa International Airport of only 15 degrees today. The old record, much higher, 24, all the way back from 1929. Still at this from the Weather Service, this is an extreme cold warning for the entire 2 News forecast area until noon tomorrow. Take a look at our live Wade's RV weather camera network and some nice sunshine, but still a little bit of cloud cover out there. You can see that from our Grand Lake camera. Those temperatures now for the most part between about 10 and 15 degrees. 13 right now in Tulsa with negative wind chills from about 412 up towards the north all the way through southeast Kansas. The 8 o'clock temperature down to 10 and single digits there, 9 between 9 and 10 o'clock. So here's what we're tracking for you. Arctic air continues to impact the region when we rise to above freezing finally and near 70-degree temperatures on that 10-day forecast.
The impact of this cold weather can be dangerous, especially with this sustained chill. I'm 2 News anchor Naomi Kitt. I talked with families working and playing in these conditions to see how they're staying safe. In his Brookside neighborhood, Zane Gardner used the sun as his guide to get outside and get some of the snow off his sidewalk. He told me he grew up in cold weather, but it doesn't take the bite out of this week's conditions.
I can feel it in my face when I'm facing into the wind, and I can feel it in my hands right now, but it's not so bad as long as I'm active.
And just down the road at Zink Park, families like the Martins are enjoying this snow day, bundled up in many layers.
We're doing it safely, but we just definitely make sure we get out and do stuff.
With a predicted 110 hours below freezing in Tulsa this week, EMSA is working to make sure families like the Martins and Gardners are safe. Adam Paluca with EMSA says young children, the elderly, and people with underlying conditions are most susceptible to cold-related illness. He suggests carrying extra layers in case your clothes get wet, listening to your body for signs of hypothermia and frostbite, and taking the cold seriously.
These temperatures are life-threatening.
EMSA tells me since Tuesday they've responded to 11 cold exposure calls. 5 people were taken to the hospital. Reporting in Tulsa, I'm Naomi Kitt, 2 News Oklahoma.
Turning now to Nowata County, where residents there are trying to keep pipes from freezing and save water at the same time. Our 2 News anchor Sharon Phillips spent the day in the town of Delaware and listened to neighbors as they work to keep themselves and their animals hydrated.
The cold weather temps are having a major impact on the town of Delaware. The city is asking people to conserve water right now. I'm 2 News anchor Sharon Phillips. Another way they're doing that is by turning off these pumps that ranchers use to fill up jugs for their cattle. Town officials sounded the alarm on Facebook Tuesday, asking people to only let one faucet valve drip. I spoke with water plant operator Ethan Cummings about the situation.
So our main objective on this is to try to get people to understand that they don't need to let their faucets run, not a full stream or anything like that. Dripping them is sufficient usually to keep the water lines from freezing.
Cummings tells me the frigid temps have caused some of the mechanics at the water plant to fail at times. So crews are having to work on motors and mixers, which delays running the plant. Rancher Shelby Taylor is heeding the warning while still keeping his livestock watered. We found him on his ranch working to create more water for his cows.
Try to break the ice and save as much water as we can in the water troughs.
It's a cold but necessary process during times like these. Cummings says if the town does run out of water, they do have a contingency plan. In Nowata County, Sharon Phillips, 2 News Oklahoma.
Tulsa Fire Department rescued several people trapped inside a snowbound tent. This was a homeless encampment on the outskirts of downtown. The fire department says crews helped free the trapped people and got them into an ambulance for medical treatment. This was the department's second visit to that encampment. Crews were initially turned down for when they offered help to them. Unfortunately, as those conditions worsened, the trapped few found themselves in a dangerous situation and took them up on the help after all. Fire department says it's not stopped its work to connect the unhoused with available resources and encourages you to check in on those in need and direct them to those warming shelters.
I'm Isabel Flores with 2 News Oklahoma here at the Rose Bowl, where One Hope Ministries has opened up their warming shelter for people. And can make it inside here so that they don't have to worry about freezing temperatures. I spoke with the director and he tells me the shelter's already above capacity. They're working with other shelters to make sure everyone has a spot. I met Freddie Rankins at the Rose Bowl. He tells me just yesterday he slept in a tent, unaware of the warming shelters. He says he saw people huddled at the Rose Bowl and is beyond grateful.
I think it's wonderful for these people to do this stuff. It's wonderful for the community, for the people outside in this weather.
Rankins tells me he hopes as many people take advantage of these resources as possible. The other warming shelters open in Tulsa are the Tulsa Day Center, Youth Services of Tulsa, the Salvation Army, Tulsa Dream Center, and the John 3:16 mission. In Tulsa, Isabel Flores, 2 News, Oklahoma.
And a reminder, you can find a full list of warming shelters and other resources at kjrh.com. Still ahead, our Julie Chin has a fun trick in store for us. She first told us about this last night, and when we come back, she's going to teach us how to make those frozen bubbles something fun for the freezing temperatures. And later, we're heading to northern Green Country, where Bartlesville residents are showing us the Oklahoma standard. Stay strong no matter what Mother Nature throws our way.
Your first forecast, sponsored by Burgraff Disaster Restoration.
You're watching 2 News Oklahoma, part of the Scripps News Group.
Hi guys, yesterday on the news we talked about blowing ice bubbles. Now if you try to use your household bubbles, they might not work. So I came up with a magic bubble mix. Really easy, probably stuff you have in your pantry. I just used some water, some corn syrup, a little bit of dish soap, and also some sugar. I will post this recipe underneath this video. We mixed it together in a bowl. We're just using a typical straw, and what my son's been doing is he's just been blowing really gently, and then we're seeing these bubbles form. And then within a matter of seconds, they've been freezing, and we've been watching them crystallize, and then they pop. It's been really fun. So let us know if you try it. Again, you don't want to spend too much time outside in the cold, but it's cold enough that you're able to blow ice bubbles. Enjoy.
I love it. And that's like some outdoor snow fun that I can join in on. Like, I'm not doing the snow angels, okay?
Right. But some bubbles?
Yeah.
Sure.
Fun.
Thanks for that
Good
experiment.
Job. And it looks like we're going to be making some snow bubbles for at least a little bit.
Yeah, here's what we have here from the National Weather Service, Aaron, and that is going to be those record morning low temperatures. So what we have from the Weather Service, they indicated that record low tomorrow, the old one 9 from 1918, the record 7 from 1939 on Friday, and we're probably going to shatter both of those over the next 2 days. And those record low maximum temperatures, just like the one we broke today, probably going to break that tomorrow on your Thursday. Our forecasted high is 18 degrees. Probably not so on Friday. Our forecasted high is a little bit above the record, 30 degrees, that record 28 from 1968. Now, in terms of those temperatures all across the state right now, some of those regular air temperatures into the single digits in far northern Oklahoma. As we get to far southeastern Oklahoma, we have those temperatures into the lower 20s. In terms of the live Wade's RV weather camera network, we do have sunny conditions at the Tulsa International Airport. The current temperature only at 14. North-northwesterly winds now upwards of around 17 miles per hour, and pretty low on that relative humidity at 56%, and the dew point is only at 1 degree. Look at those wind chills. In Tulsa, we have that at -2, -3 the feels like temperature in Bartlesville, and -2 up towards southeast Kansas. Regular air temperatures right now 16 in McAllister, also in Stigler, and 15 in Bristow. Future track wind chills overnight tonight, those negative wind chills all across eastern Oklahoma. Overnight, you can see they're past midnight all the way through the early morning hours. And so that's why we have those cancellations tomorrow, along with that leftover snow on the ground. We have an extreme cold warning from the National Weather Service all the way through high noon tomorrow. And then finally by the afternoon, those wind chills rising to above zero. Northerlies between about 5 and 15 miles per hour with that forecasted low at 2 below. Overnight lows down into the single digits on either side of zero, probably around -6 in the Grove area, -7 in Coffeyville, and 5 above in McAllister. Tomorrow we're going for 18 degrees, northeasterly winds between about 5 and 10 miles per hour. A reminder, we do have that extreme cold warning set in place all the way through the lunch hour because of those wind chills still below zero. And those daytime highs anywhere from the teens and into the low to the mid-20s. We might get into the upper 20s in far southeastern Oklahoma, also in Arkansas, Fort Smith there at 28 degrees. Your latest 10-day forecast on Friday, still forecasting below freezing at 31, along with mostly sunny skies. Bright sunny skies coming up on Saturday, 45 degrees and starting out at 16. And really that south wind is going to help us out over the weekend between about 5 and 10 miles per hour. Sunshine frigid there at 8 o'clock at 2, 12 degrees, mostly sunny skies at noon, and a record cold day with that high into the upper teens. And again, a lot of sunshine for tomorrow. Your extended forecast on Sunday, we have 56 degrees southwesterly winds, upper 60s on Monday and Tuesday. What a difference coming in next week, a big time heat wave. Slight little cold front there by Wednesday knocks us down to only 63 degrees with that overnight low into the upper 30s.
Thank you, Brandon. Well, because of the weather, we have moved to CARES Day to next Friday. We'd originally planned to give back to the community this week, and we've been encouraging you to do the same. We hope you will now join us in giving back next Friday, February 28th, by volunteering at your favorite charity.
Watch Scripps News for all-day coverage from across the country and around the world. At Scripps News, reporting your headlines from the middle matters. Stream 24/7 on your favorite app.
2 News has been across green country. Our 2 News Oklahoma's Braden Bates went to Bartlesville to see how they were faring in the snow. And while he was there, he saw the community coming together, exemplifying the true meaning of the Oklahoma Standard.
We often talk about neighbors helping neighbors, and here in Bartlesville, it's no different. Be the Light mission is providing warmth to those when warmth matters most.
Well, we've seen the danger. We have a guy still in there that's dealing with frostbite.
With extreme cold temperatures, people's health is top of mind. For Keith and Christy McPhail, it's why their doors open.
Also, we've done warming shelters for the last 5 years. So this is our 15th warming shelter that we've done for the community.
But they don't only provide cots and crates for pets. They also make sure each person gets food and a fresh set of clothes. Relying on donations, they say the community's been more than generous.
We don't really think of it as helping them. The community helps them, we help each other, and that's just kind of what it's all about.
We don't want to give a hand out, we want to give a hand up.
The McPhails tell me they're working to expand the mission, not only providing help today, but resources for the days to come.
Anyway, our doors are open all the time, and we welcome anybody in here.
The warming shelter will stay open through Saturday morning. In Bartlesville, Braden Bates, 2 News, Oklahoma.
And those freezing temperatures are sticking around. One final look at when we will be moving out of the freezing temperatures next.
On Nightly News tonight, how many American farmers are being held in suspense by government cuts and spending freezes. Plus, bird flu and what the loss of so many birds is doing to the ecosystem when we see you back here tonight.
A Tulsa resident is soaking up the snowy weather by hitting the slopes or kind of the streets. This is a video from Megan Zedek. I know Megan. You go, girl. Look at her. This is at 21st and Lewis, not Colorado. No, right on the streets, doing a little cross-country skiing and a pose at the end. Have you ever done cross-country skiing? It's a workout.
I have not. I have actually never skied before.
She made it look really easy, that's for sure.
Yeah, for sure. And a pose at the end.
Yeah, she did. She was proud of herself and, should be.
For sure.
I think I'll just be sitting indoors.
And then, of course, on the 10-day forecast, like we've been discussing,
Woohoo!
Erin, we have 60s to near 70 on the way.
We're ready.
We'll be breaking out the shorts and T-shirts again, I guess, and putting away the skis.
I'm ready for it. Are you? You're like, I don't know. I never got them out.
No, I'm ready for next week, I think.
Yeah, it'll be nice. We've had it. All right, we'll see you back here at 6 o'clock.